Under the Scope.
Hey everybody, Jared and Shane here for a Scope movie review. It's been a while that we've done it in the official format, Jared.
Has been.
This is going to be a good one, I think. We just got out of a screening of the latest The Rock Johnson / Kevin Hart movie, Central Intelligence. Central Intelligence.
You got it.
It is the first comedy of the summer, as far as I know.
Well, we had Neighbors 2, Sorority Rising, came out in May, but we didn't see that one.
We didn't see it. We probably would have liked that.
Probably.
Because we like the first one. But hey, we're not talking about Neighbors. We're talking about Central Intelligence.
We are.
Jared, this is one of those moments that I truly enjoy as a professional film critic. Because it's always nice to be pleasantly surprised. We have been, unfortunately, forced to, not forced, but we do it because our fans want us to. We see a lot of movies out there. A lot of them tend to be garbage. Maybe we're jaded. Maybe we've seen so much. We've seen it all. This was going to be one of those movies that we thought,
Not sure.
We hope it's funny, but boy, oh boy, it's The Rock. It is Kevin Hart.
Honestly,
Seems like a played plot.
the trailers and the commercials didn't really wow me.
No. They left, usually with movies, they put all the funny stuff up front, and so you originally thought this was going to be a movie that just had flashbacks of Dwayne Johnson's face attached to a obese man dancing around like it was 1996. But instead, you get a very interesting film, Jared, about two friends reconnecting.
Yes.
You get a allegory about bullying and overcoming that, and then you get sort of this weird spy thing thrown in there for good measure. Put it all together, and you get
Central Intelligence.
Thank you very much.
It's got a name with franchise written all over it.
There we go. I mean, they literally set it up for it. But,
Yeah.
Jared, I gave a little bit of a tease as to what this is about. Why don't you break it down a little bit further? Maybe
All right.
talk about some of the other people that are in this film, because it's chock full of people one would recognize.
Well, you've got, as you said, Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Big Johnson, Little Hart, as the advertising goes. Who else?
Amy Adams.
Got Amy Adams. You've got
Jason.
What?
From
Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman, thank you.
He shows up as the older version of one of the high school bullies.
You've got a special cameo by someone we probably shouldn't spoil, because I think that was meant to be a surprise at the end.
Which one?
A female. That's all I will say.
Okay, I won't say that one.
Yeah.
But Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul.
You know
is
him
in
from
it,
Breaking Bad.
Yep.
He also makes an appearance.
He does.
Maybe he even says his famous catchword. Who knows?
Does he have a catchword?
You haven't seen Breaking
I've
Bad.
never seen it. Did he say it?
He did.
Okay. All right. So tell us, Jared.
So the movie starts in 1996 at Central High School. What a shocker!
Yeah.
Central High School.
Easy to do computer-generated stuff to get out the real name of the high school off the building.
And as you mentioned, you have the younger version of our characters. One is I don't even know how you describe him, but he likes to shower first period.
Yeah.
Doesn't shower at home. He likes to shower first period. And he's showering, rocking it out to En Vogue.
During a school assembly, by the way.
First period, where-
It was very weird.
Where our other character, played by Kevin Hart, is getting an award.
He's the Golden Jet.
He's the Golden Jet. He's nicknamed the Golden Jet.
He's perfect. He did everything in high school. High school was his thing, Jared. It was his jam.
He's one of those guys that maybe they peaked in high school. We're not sure. Anyway, some high school bullies, some ne'er-do-wells, get a hold of young, what's his name, Robbie Weirdick.
Yeah. It's a tricky last name. It's a really
And they toss him butt-ass naked right into the gymnasium where everyone is. And the only one person, everyone laughs, everyone points and jeers, but the only person who helps him is the Golden Jet. Gives him his Letterman's jacket.
What's his name in the movie? Do you remember?
Blanking on it now.
Okay, that's all right.
Damn it!
That's okay. You keep talking.
Just call him Jet. He gets called Jet a lot.
Yeah.
Robbie runs for the hills and is never heard from again. 20 years later,
High school reunion time.
Golden Jet has married his high school sweetheart, but he's become an accountant, and maybe he's not too happy with his career path. The high school 28th high school reunion is coming up. His wife wants to go. He doesn't. Golden Jet doesn't want to go. He feels like he hasn't made enough of his life. It's a common theme.
Sure, we all feel that way sometimes.
Yeah.
Not you, Jared.
No,
The
I'm
rest of us
an
plebeians,
internet
we do.
famous movie reviewer.
Hey, I am too. I feel good about my life.
But then suddenly he gets a weird Facebook message. Somebody wants to be friends. There's somebody named Bob Stone. Who is this Bob Stone?
Yeah. Well, he friends him and he finds out.
Chances are it might be
Dwayne.
Robbie Weirdick. Now, tall, much taller than he was. I don't know how he grew that much.
Muscular.
He's muscular.
Muscular. He's got a lot of muscles.
He's completely transformed himself, and he's still a weirdo.
Yeah.
He's very much a weirdo. And so these two characters connect, and our adventure begins.
Yeah. And then it turns into a spy caper, which really has a lot to. I mean, it's red herring after what's the term, Jared, in movies where you've got them chasing something that doesn't really mean anything.
The MacGuffin. Lots of MacGuffins.
Well, there's many MacGuffins.
It's not necessarily about the spy's tale.
No.
It's about the stuff you mentioned earlier. It's about sort of being the hero of your own story and overcoming bullying and sort of embracing the power to change yourself.
The movie does, and I'm saying this completely without puns, even though I know you love puns. It definitely has a lot of heart, like surprisingly.
Would you say it has a little heart or a lot?
It has a lot of heart. It has a little heart and a lot of heart. To get to the review.
Yes.
I think what makes this film work beyond the heart is the fact that you have The Rock playing. I mean, we went into this movie thinking he was going to be playing Type, which was a big, muscular, strong guy that has all of his stuff together.
Right,
but
he's done that role before in a funny capacity, and it's worked.
But this time he comes in and he really is a weirdo. He sort of has these elements of Arrested Development, and then also he's sort of tied into weird aspects of pop culture.
He likes unicorns. Yeah, he has a fanny pack.
It's all these weird, incongruent things that are thrown together.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it work. If he would have played a totally together spy who could just go and kick ass, I think the movie would have been very by the book.
Yeah. But I mean, you would have had some laughs, but it would have been probably a forgettable summer comedy.
Exactly. And then with Kevin Hart, he sort of plays a bit against Type. I mean, he has some manic aspects to it, but it's definitely in control. You know what I mean? It's like it felt appropriate when it needed to be, and he could amp it up when needed to and drop it down back to that sort of I'm an average Joe, because that was definitely his character.
Yeah, and look, this film is clearly about setting up comedic situations. Period. Yeah. I mean, it is.
It's a setup after setup,
and that's fine. I mean, that's just. I think that's what is one of the joys of watching this film. Is it just you go to these great comedic setups one after another, and some are clearly well scripted and staged. Others are definitely improvisations that really, really work well. But yeah, I think you and I agree that the magic is Dwayne Johnson just playing this weird role.
Completely buys into it 100%.
Yeah.
And it shows that, and I'm not a huge Rock fan at all. I mean, I couldn't tell you one of his movies that I really, really liked.
Okay.
I mean, I remember the last movie that we reviewed of his, San Andreas.
Yeah.
We butchered it because it deserved it. It was by the book. It was simplistic, and it did everything that you would expect it to do, and it sucked. And people can say it was fun, that's fine, but we've seen that movie a million times.
Yeah.
This movie, we've seen aspects of it a million times. I mean, doesn't it kind of remind you in some sense of Spy? Like you've got, you've got a movie that has heart, but yet it's got a whole vein of weirdness.
It's not quite as satirical and farcical as Spy, but it's definitely in that ballpark.
Yeah. And I think that you have to, and I don't remember both the story by and all the writers, but we heard about this movie 6 to 8 months ago.
Yeah.
Ike Barinholtz was doing an interview, and you are going to know him from Mad TV. He's been on the Mindy Project. He's done some stuff, and he said,
Neighbors too.
Yes. He said, I wrote this movie. Kevin Hart, Dwayne Johnson's going to be in it. And I was like, what is he talking about?
What is he up to?
Like those two are not the type of sophisticated comedian types that you would expect him to be in a movie for an off-kilter movie.
Yeah.
But yet, he pulled it off. He brought it all together. His sensibility, and I'm sure his writing partners, it's in this film, and it also captures the very best of Kevin Hart and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So good for them.
Yeah,
good for them. I mean, I'm surprised, and I'm happy that I'm surprised. It's not a waste of time.
It's an unexpected film. I mean, you're gonna get. I mean, it's expected and unexpected. I mean, it's expected in that it's, you know, an action-packed buddy comedy, but it's unexpected in the characters and how they're portrayed and some of the situations that happen. And just some of the great jokes that you just don't see coming.
And the fact that the audience was a big audience, didn't always get the jokes. I mean, it was sort of a mixed bag for the audience. I mean, I don't know if the pumps were primed, because we always like to talk about that.
Yeah.
Especially with these sneak previews, you get a packed house and you sort of wonder how the comedies are going to play. But even when people weren't laughing, I was laughing, and you were laughing.
Oh, yes.
And if that happens, I think you've got a hit. I think this movie is going to do pretty well.
I feel like it is.
So,
and if it isn't a hit, I'll be surprised.
Yes, I think this will be. I don't know what the expectations are for this, but I think that it will be a surprise summer hit. I mean, maybe Warner Brothers doesn't think would be a surprise, but I thought this movie was just going to be a middling film at best.
I'll be curious to see how people respond to Dwayne Johnson's character in this film, because if they're going into it expecting him to be like his, you know, other characters in other movies, maybe they'll come away disappointed. I don't know, but I mean, that's the joy of it.
That's why it was so good.
Exactly.
And I hope that he does films like this that shows that he's always has that tag of master entertainer, like he's the guy.
Yeah.
And maybe he is, but when you do the same thing over and over again, I think that you lose credibility quickly. This shows that he doesn't have to do that, and I look forward to the day when he can pick roles like this that are a little bit off kilter, maybe played into some of his strengths, but gives you something different at the end of the day.
Agreed.
So let's give this a score, Jared.
The Scope score is 3.5 stars.
3.5, guys.
Another 3.5.
But worthy of a 3.5.
Yes.
Best summer movie so far. This and X-Men. Better than X-Men, right?
I enjoyed it way more than X-Men Apocalypse.
Yes. This is a movie we say go see, Jared.
Absolutely.
Go see it.
Do it.
And speaking of going and seeing things, Jared,
You can't
how
speak.
can people go and see what the Scope does?
You can like, comment, and subscribe right down below.
That's just that easy. So thank you, Jared, for getting these tickets, for standing in line, and getting us into this.
I sat for most of it.
You did a good job. So for Jared, I am Shane. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with more summer movie reviews. That's a guarantee. So until then, bye for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves once again at the end. I hope you've enjoyed our time together. I know I have. Fear not, Scope faithful. The days shall pass as if they were but a moment. And Jared, Adam, and Shane will return with another thrilling episode. Until then, send your comments to comments@thescopeshow.com or leave a voicemail message by dialing
612-21-SCOPE. That's 612-217-2673.
Thanks for listening, faithful fans. This is Tony Partington saying adios. Tune in next time to another terrific edition of The Scope.